So the U.S. intelligence agencies have been an institution that have just been there as surefire as gravity exists. They have always been there, and they've been something that you pay attention to, and you kind of know, okay, the CIA is there, and they're doing all these kind of clandestine things, FBI, NSA, all that. And you assume that there's probably some level of A, professionalism, and B, loyalty to the United States, and C, stupidity that they would never go above. And it's like this stuff that Doge is uncovering, it just breaks all of your preconceived notions of what you can expect from these guys, because we got a couple stories here that we're going to go through that Tulsi is discussing on in an interview. And the first one, this story, if you guys haven't heard about this, where more than 100 intelligence officers were using an NSA encrypted classified chat message system to share sexually explicit ideas, pictures. It's so crazy. Okay. Here's her quote as they're getting fired, but we'll get into exactly what they were doing with it. There are over 100 people from across the intelligence community that contributed to and participated in what is really just an egregious violation of trust. I put out a directive today that they will all be terminated and their security clearances will be revoked. They were brazen in using an NSA platform intended for professional use to conduct this kind of really, really horrific behavior. Just wait till you hear what these guys were doing. It's gross, okay? It's like really, really gross. And the fact that they were doing it on an encrypted, classified NSA channel, you're like, where's the oversight? How could this have happened? How could a thing like this happen? And this is the kind of thing that's getting rooted out. Now, we're also, in the same story, going to talk about this little number where the members of the CIA, leadership in the CIA, makes essentially a direct threat that if Doge comes in and starts cutting their budget and removing people, that they're going to go sell United States secrets to foreign adversaries. Like, they're just outright threatening treason. You're like, what on earth how is this real? How is this even real? You know what I mean? So we're going to go through those stories, and then we're going to have Tulsi Gabbard speak on them herself, right? So, as a matter of fact, rather than read the story, I'm actually going to let Tulsi Gabbard speak on them specifically. So I want you guys, we're going to watch this together, and we'll pause, and I will give you my thoughts on what we are talking about. I took my shirt off in order to shoot this right now. And also I was just going to ask you guys to go check out my channel over here that I do with my wife, Play with Matches. A link is in the description. If you've never seen it, I promise you're going to like it. It's not we've only been doing it for like 7-8 months, but it's a good time, dude. You're going to enjoy yourself. I promise. Check them out. And then also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, you should definitely do that, especially if you want to be suggested my videos, because normally this kind of thing is not suggested. I haven't gotten the news approval from YouTube yet. So subscribe, ring the bell, like the video. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's run it and we'll get into it.
If you doge us, there will be consequences. On the CIA's 7th floor, home to top leadership, some officers are also quietly discussing how mass firings and the buyouts already offered to staff risk creating a group of disgruntled former employees who might be motivated to take what they know to a foreign intelligence service. The CIA is telling CNN that if their funding gets cut, they're going to sell state secrets to Russia.
It's insane. It's insane. How could they say that out loud? And you're like, hey, so I have an idea. You guys are an intelligence agency, right? So you should probably have methods for monitoring the communications of people who work inside of your own organization. Because I know you guys are allowed with the Patriot Act and all that stuff to monitor everybody. And I know for 100% sure that the second that you sign up with NSA, CIA, or any of the intelligence agencies, you are definitely agreeing to be monitored. And so I have an idea. Why don't you guys do your job? Why don't you monitor them, And then why don't you find the ones who are going to sell secrets to Russia, and then we'll put them in jail forever. Or worse, since that's treason. What's the punishment for that? I can't remember. Okay. So what? This is some kind of threat that, oh no, we should definitely not cut the budget because, oh geez, these people that we hired, who we were responsible for vetting the character of, they're going to go sell our secrets to foreign adversaries. How is this a good argument for yourself or against chopping your jobs? Anyway, let's go ahead and continue this, and we'll have more to say.
Who the hell hired these Benedict Arnolds?
Exactly.
The CIA is supposed to be filled with patriots, not sellouts. And the FBI is up to no good, too. Michael Schellenberger is reporting a source inside the FBI says the Bureau is destroying evidence. Now we know what their accomplishments were last week.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole other video that I'm doing today about that particular story. The FBI destroying evidence. Just, hey, right before we're about to release the Epstein files, they're all, hang on. Let's get rid of anything that's going to incriminate any of our friends. But don't worry, we're going to get to the sex chat thing because that's for this video right now.
Dear Elon, I wiped the servers cleaner than crooked. We only wish the NSA had shredded their secret sex chats. We told you how Intel officials were using government chat rooms to brag about their fetishes, kinks, and sex changes. Journalist Chris Rufo just uncovered more messages. Viewer warning. Creeps at the NSA were fantasizing about having hermaphrodite babies so they could raise them non-binary. They were also trashing conservatives like Ben Shapiro, calling them effing monsters. And after Pat Robertson died, CIA workers celebrated. Quote, I was always taught never to say anything about the dead unless it's good. He's dead. Good. The NSA was also caught bad-mouthing RFK, but they really don't like Tulsi. They say she's fervently anti-queer.
I mean, let me tell you what's so unbelievable is that what you're actually talking about here this is not even up for debate. What you're talking about here is you're talking about extremists, okay? Like these are far leftist extremists, okay? People who say anti-queer, I know what that means, okay? I don't need to hear any of your other opinions. I already know what you think about everything, okay? You think that she is a Russian asset. You think that, that women should have to play against biological men in sports. You think, you think you should have, abortions up to 9 months in the womb. I already know their opinion on everything, and that is the extremist. The fact that there were that many people who felt that comfortable expressing extremist political views through an encrypted, classified chat channel at the NSA is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's literally no different, okay, than if you had the most hardcore MAGA Trumpers that listen, obviously, you guys know where I stand. I'm not talking about people like me. I'm talking about the really far right that I might agree with them on some things, but there are definitely going to be things where I'm like, whoa, guy, scale it back a little bit on that, because you shouldn't have extremists. And I'm not calling, heavy Trump supporters extremists at all. That's not what my point is. Okay. I'm saying if anybody is too far on either side, they should not be working for American intelligence agencies, candidly, or the government in general. You should have to have at least moderate views to work for the government because you have to work together with other people. And you also, especially in the intelligence agencies, you're supposed to be working to, advance the prosperity of Americans, not have such insane views that you hate half the country. Because that's what I'm saying. Straight up, I'm telling you right now, I don't hate Democrats. That's just not a thing. Okay? I love America. I love Americans. I think that lots of Democrats are stupid. I think lots of Republicans are stupid. I think that people are kind of stupid in a lot of cases. But if your viewpoint is that of there is an entire half the country that are morons who not only don't deserve my help, but are have earned my ire just because they disagree with me on some things, you don't belong anywhere near the job that you're in if you're in the NSA. Do you think I trust them to do what's right? I don't. And here's the thing. I see what's going on right now because another story that I'm going to do later today is about the investigation it might even end up in this video, actually, highly likely. But somewhere today, I'm doing a video about the investigation into James Comey, okay? Here's what's concerning about that, okay? When they started opening all these cases into Trump, okay, I said, you're not going to like where this goes. This is bad, Okay, this is a bad thing because when the shoe's on the other foot, what do you think's going to happen? And so I'm saying the exact same thing now. I'm not saying that Comey doesn't deserve to be investigated. I think he should. But my point is that now we know that this is the outcome and it's their fault. This is their fault. They did this, right? They broke the law in many cases in order to try to go get Trump. And now the retribution is coming. But how are they going to interpret that on the left? They're going to say all of these are politically motivated investigations, whatever. So in the event that Democrats ever get control back, what do you think they're going to do? They're just going to do it and it's going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I mean, I don't think it's a good thing that I know it's not. It's a bad thing they did. And now they're going to reap what they sowed. It's going to be a rough go for them because I don't see them getting control of anything back in a very long time. And certainly for the next 4 years, they're going down, man. These guys, they're going to get rung up. This is what happens. Okay. You try to take every dollar that a billionaire has and try to take them down, put them in prison, kill them. Okay. Well, now he's the most powerful person in the world. And he learned from the last time. And so in every major power position in the government, they're his people now. No more people undermining him. Now he has a vice grip on power. How you like your odds now? So now you're going to reap what you sowed. And nonetheless, I'm like, I can still recognize as a forward thinker that what's going to happen is in the event that this is going to happen, they're just going to do it again in reverse. I think the key takeaway really though is, how about everybody just stops breaking the law? Just stop breaking the law. All right, let's continue with more of this nonsensical stuff, and then we'll hear from Tulsi.
Tulsi. They say she's fervently anti-queer, a Russian agent, and in a MAGA cult.
Hey,
this is the deep.
Hey, that's going to go real well for your job now that she's the director of national intelligence. Oh, you're fired. Look at that. You're fired.
State the media says is fake. They've been shrouded in bureaucracy forever, and we're shining a light on the infection and cleaning it out. Tulsi Gabbard is the director of national intelligence. First of all, congratulations on your confirmation.
Thank you, Jesse. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you, too. Not so good to see some of these transgender sex chats.
By the way, I realize I don't know what is going on. I know the audio is like a little bit off on what's being brought into my software. I apologize for that, but just bear with it,
Among the intel officials, what are we going to do about that?
Well, Jesse, what we're going to do has already been done. There are over 100 people from across the intelligence community that contributed to and participated in this, what is really just an egregious violation of trust, what to speak of like basic rules and standards around professionalism. I put out a directive today that they all will be terminated and their security clearances will be revoked. But the thing here, Jesse, is like we got to take a step back because this is just barely scratching the surface. When you see what these people were saying, and thanks to Chris Rufo for putting it all out online, they were brazen in using an NSA platform intended for professional use to conduct this kind of really horrific behavior. And they were brazen in doing this because when was the last time anyone was really held accountable? Certainly not over the last 4 years, certainly not over the last 10, maybe 20 years. When we look at some of the biggest violations of the American people's trust in the intelligence community. So today's action in holding these individuals accountable is just the beginning of what we're seeing across the Trump administration, which is carrying out the mandate the American people gave him. Clean house, root out that rot and corruption and weaponization and politicization, so we can start to rebuild that trust in these institutions that are charged with an important mission of serving the American people, ensuring our safety, security, and freedom.
Well, there's going to be a lot of house cleaning because now we're hearing CIA agents don't like getting Doge, so they're going to sell state secrets to our enemies. What are we going to do here?
I am curious about how they think this is a good tactic to keep their job. They're exposing themselves essentially by making this indirect threat, using their propaganda arm through CNN that they've used over and over and over again to reveal their hand, that their loyalty is not at all to America. It is not to the American people or the Constitution. It is to themselves.
Yep. And now they're going to reap what they sowed again. you know. Now, listen, if I was in CIA leadership or whatever, I would have read the room a little bit better, and I would have been trying to ingratiate myself to the new administration since they have a total control. They can do whatever they want. And I certainly would not have been making threats, because you want to know what threats are going to get you in this administration? The hammer, okay? These guys are not just, I mean, honestly, do these people that are running things now, they seem like the kind of people where if you threaten them, that's good. They're like, oh, geez, that's scary. Now let's give them what they want. Have you met this? Have you met this guy? Like, have you seen how he does things? You threaten him, he's good. You know, you threaten this, he's going to hit you with this. You threaten him with this, he's going to hit you with this. I mean, you have to be joking. Why would you have thought this was going to do anything except make you inevitably, definitely 100% fired, and then under constant investigation and monitoring? I mean, come on.
And these are exactly the kind of people that we need to root out, get rid of, so that the patriots who do work in this area, who are committed to our core mission, can actually focus on that. I got to tell you, one of the byproducts of what I just saw literally today is because of this immediate action of transparency and accountability, I have people within the intelligence community reaching out to me personally and directly saying, hey, you need to know about this. You need to look over here. People are stepping forward because they are all on board with the mission to clean house and refocus on our core mission of serving the American people.
See, that's the big part. That is the biggest part of this entire story. That right there, in my opinion, okay? Because if you think about how you personally have felt on social media over the last handful of years, or in any environment, maybe corporate, your job, whatever, where you were afraid to say certain things because you're like, man, if I say that, you know, they all disagree and I might lose my job or I might get in trouble or whatever. Okay, well now what she just said means that the tables have turned and now people are starting to feel safe, okay? Because you want to know what it means when you have 100 people in a chat room talking about all this weirdo like trans ideology nonsense. You want to know what that means? It means that they felt completely comfortable that they were protected to talk about Tulsi being a Russian agent, or that they want to have a hermaphrodite kid so that they can raise them non-binary, or whatever this nonsense that they were doing was, right? They felt safe because they felt like leadership is going to protect people like that. And now this is just the beginning of you think that those are the only people who work in the government? So now all this misconduct, all this nonsense is all going to get called out, right? It just is. And listen, I'm not ignorant. I understand that, there is going to be a large group of Americans that are going to see this exactly opposite. And they're going to be like, see, if you're a MAGA-tard, then guess what? Now you can do whatever you want. You can blah, 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 blah. I don't know if that's true. What I know is that those people that they're catching now and they're rooting out, they got to go, man.